thing just showed up. It felt like it was like Easter yesterday. And I mean, Christmas, sorry. It felt like, we just hopped into this thing, and it's like, we're going. We're off to the races. Ash Wednesday is this Wednesday, and we're going to do this thing. And I'll tell you, it just sneaks up on me. It's one of these big days where we kick off the season in this big demonstrative way that a lot of us know. Some of our little ones have little smudges of ashes on their heads already. They went to chapel this morning. They're ready for this. They've done this. And we do this big thing where we honor this time. We have this cultural observance. You probably even see news anchors sometimes with their little crosses on their foreheads. It's just this normal thing. And it's an odd thing because it's such a big part of our lives. Christocentric calendar, And there's never a moment in the Bible where Jesus is like, disciples, come here, real quick, before you go out, let me smudge you with a little ash. Never happens. It's this big thing that Jesus, that is part of our tradition, that when I see it in other people, I kind of get, oh, neat. They are from this rich tradition as well. They've heard today, whether it be in Mass or I remember when I was an intern in Texas, we did Ash in Fort Worth. There was this little commuter train that would take people into the city, and we'd go to the train and do ashes on the train, like for people who couldn't make it to worship that morning. And we'd say the words, hey, remember your dust. Good luck catching your train, It was a beautiful thing that we got to come there and hear. Whatever it is, when you see that mark, they heard this line, that you are dust and to dust you shall return. A great bit of lovely honesty. That's what I love most about Ash Wednesday, is the honesty of acknowledging that we too are like grass, We grow. We are cut down in an instant. Over time we wither, we fade. We are here just for a moment in the grand scheme of time. A day also where not only are we thinking about that ash and that limitness of life, this limited nature of our existence and how beautiful and holy it is, we also have this symbol on our heads, a cross, which was a symbol of torture and death in the time of Jesus, but that was transformed through his glorious resurrection to become this symbol of victory and love. What a thing to have emblazoned on our foreheads. It's a powerful thing. Wearing a symbol that was once and still is at the same time beautiful and tragic. I always get a lump in my throat when my kids come up too. As a pastor, marking them with that ash and saying to my own children, you are dust, and to dust you shall return. In the midst of that grimness around dust, there's just something so refreshingly honest, humbling, haunting, at the same time beautiful and truthful. And maybe, I think particularly now, it's just so, I covet truth. I look for honesty. Because we live in a world where it seems like truth is often in the eye of the beholder, right? Truth is relative. It's somebody else's truth, but I just want something meaningful. I have a deep desire to hear something real, something certain, and something honest. And honestly, I can say with complete confidence, there is nothing truer than we're going to meet our Maker. What's that line? Given enough time, everyone's survival rate drops to 0. Right? It's true. Death and taxes, those are the only certain thing. It's something powerful, that mark of the cross on our foreheads. In a world of dishonesty and half-truths, here it is. You are dust. But confession time. 'Tis the season, right? I always wipe it off. For 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm a bit of a sweater. Did you know? I know, some of you are shocked. It comes off right away anyways. It doesn't take much time. I'm like this all the time. But in truth, I am one who wipes it off oftentimes because I struggle with the other part of Lent, which is honesty is one element of it. Ash Wednesday is very honest. But also there's a huge contingency of this, as we just heard in the reading. Humility is hugely important in this topic, in this season, that we are honest and truthful with who we are and who God is. And I'm sorry, guys, I literally just read, don't cover yourself in ash, wash your face. And it's like, not now. I mean, wear the ash now. The Christian thing you're supposed to do. I struggled with that. I remember being like 8 years old and being like, I ain't keeping this on my head. One, it's dirty. Two, I was just told not to do that. That's like practicing my faith in public. I get anxious. I get nervous about like, well, what do people think then? What hypocritical thing have I done recently because I'm wearing on my forehead that I'm supposed to live in a certain way? You drive real careful when you have that cross on your forehead, right? I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to be called a hypocrite. I also don't want to raise up in people feelings of animosity that they might rightfully have towards the church that has hurt them, that has abused them maybe in their path. That they're like, there's another hypocritical church person with a cross on their forehead making it a big deal that they went to Mass. I just take it off. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to wrestle with what it means to do, to be, to carry that thing. It gives me the ick. Now, you'll forgive me for saying this because I want to say this is not a judgment of anybody who does have the cross on their forehead, because my Labrador retriever nature takes over whenever I see it. I said it already. When I see that cross on people's head, I kind of love it. I go, oh, cool. They're part of this community of faith. They heard this good thing. But whenever I looked at myself, it would just be like, ugh, so weird. And of course, it could be appropriate, that sentiment, as humility is so important here. Fasting, in prayer, it says you're not supposed to do this in public. You don't do this so that you get credit for other people seeing it. We feed our neighbor not so other people can see us, but because our neighbor deserves to be fed. I want to make that abundantly clear. This isn't God going, all right, good, about time. No, our neighbor deserves it. So the pageantry is what it feels like to me. I don't feel then like my faith is being authentic if I'm putting it on display. So I don't do it because I'm so humble. I don't know if humble people say they're humble. Right? You guys see this? There's the other side of this. I want to be humble. I want to practice humility. But then what am I doing it for? So other people know I'm being humble? I just got up here and preached a whole sermon about it. So people know, man, he's really committed to doing this faithfully. I'm stuck. If you guys need any proof that pastors don't have it all figured out, I hope you see this. Hear this. Pastors don't have it all figured out. Pastor Lauren will say it all the time, because we are in this together. We're figuring this thing out. I don't have some strong theological explanation of why you should or shouldn't have a cross on your forehead on Ash Wednesday. But I will say it is a really beautiful tradition. And perhaps it possesses something, a meaning, a significance that I need to hear. Maybe you do too. The same thing that I receive in this service is the same thing we all receive. It's not a secret. It's shared with us all the time when we hear about who Jesus is. It's those words I've already said, honesty and humility. That's at the heart of this life of faith. It sums up the season. It sums up the life of discipleship in such a beautiful way. Humility. We are dust. Just dust. But also honesty. We're not dirt. We're not junk. We're not unremarkable, not worthy of God's love. We're not that. We're dust. Dust that was used to form all of the cosmos. Guys, I don't know if you know this, y'all are stardust. We're made of the same stuff that existed in the beginning. God used that to make something truly beautiful. Humility is, yes, we will return to meet our Maker. Honesty is knowing we are made in the image of our Maker. We are truly remarkable and beautiful reflections of the one who formed the cosmos from a whisper. Honesty is acknowledging, yes, we're dust. And God makes beautiful things out of dust. We have a great capacity. Because yes, honesty, humility, we are called to serve, right? Called to make this about giving glory to God, not about giving glory to ourselves. But honesty, that you have an embarrassment of gifts given to you. I don't know if y'all know this. Y'all are very talented, lovely folks. Why? Because God made you that way. To store those gifts up in silos and barns? No, to share them. Honesty is admitting you are incredibly blessed. We have an embarrassment of riches in this place to serve a world in need. Maybe the dust on your forehead is a distraction for you as it is for me sometimes. Maybe it can feel sometimes like pageantry, like hypocritical. But always know this. It is a reminder that you need to hear time and time again. So for me, particularly, guys, I'm going to try real hard not to wipe it off before I leave. I did wipe off my noon one. I tried, but I did wipe it off. Maybe it's what I need to hear. Maybe I need to remind myself that I'm dust, but I'm formed to do beautiful things. The dust on my forehead will help me remember that I'm dust. I'm not junk. And what that is then is a gift. A gift like all these observances we have. They're made by God, by us, by this community to help shape us and form us, to keep us right. And hear this, not right with God, as if God's like, who got the dust on their forehead tonight? No. Right is in keeping us right and reminding us who we are, who God is, that we are absolutely not junk. Honesty and humility, made to meet our makers. But that's such a great thing. So blessings on your Lenten journey as we prepare to walk towards this season of life, death, and resurrection. Blessings as you travel to the cross, that you would hear these teachings and let them shape you. Remember our shared values. Remember in honesty that you are made for this stuff every day. You were made by a maker intentionally, not incidentally. You were made on purpose to meet your maker again. You were made to stumble, but you were made of hardy stuff that allows you to get back up and carry on this mission. You were made to bless your neighbors. That's what we're going to do. Because we have been made with incredible abilities and gifts to share. You are made for perfect purpose. Amen.